Hi, folks. It may take time, but I do believe we will blow up tarot in time. I'm the one true, divine, feminine, and psychic investigator. And yes, I did use astrology to solve my own crime. I am a strong woman, and sometimes there are truly things that I just know, but I use my intuition wisely to solve crimes. And every time I get it right, God shines His grace upon me. I'm backed by divine white light. No witchcraft here. Got goodness up in this piece. And I believe in the one true divine. If you want wisdom in your life, I would look to your chart because it's like your spiritual DNA. Your life is literally written in the stars. And of course, tarot cards help too. All right. Now, that being said, what are we all about here on the Divine Feminine? We're about bringing light and love to the universe, about welcoming all people from all walks of life, no matter what. Every religion, every color, male, female, every sexual orientation, everybody's absolutely welcome here. We shine the grace of God on everybody's back here. And we're also a space where we can learn to heal, to love, to grow, to overcome, to shine, to reach our highest potential, because a true loving God would want that for every single person. Now, sometimes to be that best version of yourself, you have to walk through some hardships, right? And certainly my story, which has made it around the world and back, is one of a number of hardships, but I have been overcoming. So, and sometimes you've got to go through a lot of trials and tribulations to become the strongest version of yourself. And it does prove that miracles happen every single day. And I know this for an absolute fact. I've survived more things in my life than you could begin to imagine. Again, I've had people want to bury me alive in a box. I've survived hitman, insurance policies, witches, poisoning attempts, even a deadly bout of cancer using all kinds of natural remedies. And I have even hiked in the mountains on 10-day trips in the Sierras, scaling enormous mountains, 14,000 plus feet with a 65-pound pack all by myself. So the Divine Feminine is about facing odds and overcoming. We're about the truth and, again, becoming the best version of ourselves so we can spread more light, love, and joy and angelic vibes across the cosmos. Now, that being said, let's take a look at what the cards have to say today. I have already pre-shuffled. Here we go. So we have the victory card right off the bat, Six of Wands. And again, I love that because you can see balance here. You know, there have been some conflicts, some internal fire. There's valor. So again, that spirit of winning, of doing whatever it takes to win decently, not at any cost, but to, win with good means, right? And of course, we all like that. We like a good winner, don't we? We have the Two of Cups. So I keep being told I have new love coming, and my new love is me arriving back home with my husband of 35 years. That's the true love right there. And working on that, which has taken quite a hit over the last 6 years with the things that have occurred. But you can see things are balanced here. There's give and take. Hopefully the emotional flow will happen again after going through quite a bit of turmoil, but that's the goal, right? Everybody wants true love in their life, right? Now here is an example of love gone awry. Eight of Cups, indolence. Oh, you can just tell by the murky water, the black cesspool-like water, that things don't look good here, right? Like everything's wrong. Everything is wrong about it. The cups are empty. The water is mucky. The sky is dark. Everything's gloomy. It's like there is no love here. And if there was any kind of investment made here, it was a bad investment, right? And time to walk away, right? You don't want to be swirling around in a cesspool like this. Okay. Knight of Swords. This person always brings in information. He's a communicator. And swords tend to be about truth, direct communications. This is swift movement. And he's piercing through the darkness, the clouds, with his swords of truth to bring in information quickly. And you can tell not only because he's riding really fast on the horse and is bent and determined, but also there are birds flying nearby. So they're always little Twitter birds bringing in critical bits of information, right? And yeah, he's like a jockey of information, basically. Okay, we have the Death card, and I like this card. I mean, he does look like the Grim Reaper, doesn't he? And yet, he is necessary to take out the things that no longer serve, right? He's there to cut away the old, to get rid of the, hanger-on spirits that shouldn't be there, to cut the ties that bind. And you can tell here there's like all kinds of strings, almost like this person has been a puppet on a string. And finally, this person's tired of the strings and just says, I'm going to cut them all off. And by doing that, people tend to think that the Death card is really bad, but often it is a card of transformation, just like the Tower, because you do have to cut out that which no longer serves in order to let in really positive things. And I also like down at the bottom, you've got the scorpion image there, and Scorpios rise from the ashes like no one else. They have that ability to rejuvenate themselves, to come up from the bottom, and to rise like a phoenix. So sometimes you have to go through difficulties, cut out that which doesn't work so that you can rise and be victorious with a new life. Blessed by the divine. Okay, I do love the Star card. Has a lot to do with the sign of Aquarius. You can see the knowledge pouring forth down over this woman. It's like she is gathering cosmic information from behind the veil, not only to enlighten herself, but also to share that information with the world. So, whoops, the information just kind of passes right through her, right? She takes it from on high and tries to give the wisdom down to everybody else. And she draws from star information, starlight, the moon. So she's a depth diver. She's able to go deep because the moon is always about things that are hidden. So able to dig into the subconscious, which is why I like hypnotherapy so much, because you are able to dig deep, deep, deep and get down to the root of things and also heal, right? Or use that information that you find in the subconscious to become a better person, a more healed person, a more spiritual person, or to simply journey with your mind. And I really love it for journeying with your mind, right? I've met spirit guides there. I've had incredible experiences there. It's kind of like a shamanic journey. And yes, I have taken shaman classes. Small surprise, right? And one of those classes, I met with many, many Luna moths who were there to bring in information again with those long antennas that they have to gather wisdom. So, star quality also has a lot to do with healing, to be quite honest. All right, the futility card. Okay, this is like a battle that never ends or never seems to end. Like everybody's fighting themselves. It just goes around and around and around and around. And yet there's one sword that's standing up right here, and it's trying to just fend off all of this extra energy that you can see chaotically happening all around and still trying to stand strong. But sevens tend to bring conflict, right? With swords, it can be conflicting information coming in from all directions. And of course, you have to be careful of that anywhere but on tarot, because you have a lot of people who are spreading falsehoods as well as truths, and you have to be discerning and figure out which is right, right? So there is conflict. And there's also, of course, differences of opinion too, correct? And that can cause trouble sometimes. Okay, the 10 of Discs, the Wealth card. Okay, and you can see the coins are golden, so this means prosperity. In the background is darkness. That can indicate, times where there was lack, right? But you keep working, you keep working, you keep working, and eventually you're able to bring in a good haul. So that's always nice. Here we have the moon card. I love the moon, right? During eclipses, the moon can reveal things, especially full moon eclipse. Sometimes it really unearths things that which were hidden, right? And I have the odd thing of paying attention to eclipses for information. And at one point, I told the FBI, hey, there's an eclipse coming. You better watch carefully. Something will be revealed. And the revelation was that somebody was trying to bury me in a box, right? Alive. No kidding, man. But the good thing about going deep and finding those hidden things is that you can bring them out so that eventually you can have a victory, right? You can overcome the odds. You can, be victorious with all kinds of plots happening. And here it also has, again, that feeling of the subconscious, because you have the people who are guarding the gate to the subconscious, right? Because it's difficult to go delve down there to solve things, really difficult. And I think we have internal checkpoints that only allow us to go so far until we're ready. And then as you solve different conundrums in your life, you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. And the reason the checkpoints are there, because, sometimes delving down there can bring tower moments in your life. So you can see the towers there. So I think it's very powerful to delve into the subconscious, but you have to kind of do it at your own pace and heal as you go. And yes, hypnotherapy is a wonderful tool, not only for spiritual journeying, but also for healing. One of the best I've seen. And it's a great way to connect with God. It's like prayer times 1,000. Okay, 9 of discs. So here again, we have gain. So, earning the coins, bringing things in. Things look bright. There's a lot of prosperity here. The colors are nice. And so you can tell that, things are going well in the wealth department. And I know people have been helping me with that. And again, my real goal is to eventually be able to do good things with that. Because I don't have an ostentatious lifestyle. And I don't think I ever will. I might go on some more canoe trips. All right, Ace of Cups. Lovely card. Beautiful new beginning in love. And all aces are beginnings, and they are blessed by the divine. So it's like a start on a romance, a new emotional beginning, clearing out the old. It's like you're washing out all of the stuff that doesn't work anymore so that you can have a happier, new beginning with a heart center that's working properly and shining bright. You can see all the lovely colors back there, right? The Princess of Swords. Again, swords is about information coming in. I like this card. She's coming out of a dark period in her life. You can tell. It's like cloudy and murky, and she's on a sort of a dark temple over here. And it's like she's battled her way through the illusions, through the misconceptions, through the lies, through the slander, all of that. And she is coming out on top with the sword of truth. And by swinging that sword of truth, she's cutting through the BS, right? And so a person's character will be known, right? Not by the lies that are told, but by getting to know the actual person. And you can tell that the sun is beginning to shine. Things are beginning to get illuminated. The lies and the murk are, getting exposed. The truth will come out. All right, the Prince of Swords. Okay, this is a gentleman on a journey. He does have a chariot. So he's wanting to travel swiftly, but in this case, I think he's got a few things he has to decide as he goes on that truth journey. And one of the things he really needs to decide is who goes on the journey with them and who does not. Because you can see there are people kind of hanging on down here, right? Like, I want to go on that journey. I want to go on that trip. I want to learn that truth. I want to be a part of that communications project. And he is being very discerning, and he's got his sword up here, and he's ready to decide or cut off who goes and who doesn't. Because swords is always about trying to get down to the truth of a matter, right? Which can be difficult sometimes, but he's ready to cut out that which doesn't serve and get to the truth. The Eight of Wands. Wands are always about journeys, inspiration. They can have a lot to do with sexual life. This one is swiftness, and it's backed by the sign Mercury, which is related to Gemini and has everything to do with communications, and also Mars. So, again, Mars has lots of fiery, warlike energy, and you can tell this person is trying to get the message out every which way they possibly can. So, the words are flying, they're going in every direction. But in this case, though, there is Mars involved. It looks like it's all for a good purpose because you have a rainbow over the top. And so it's like rapid communication, just trying to get a good message out to the world, right? Because it should be all about the light and the love and the universe. Okay, we have the Trump card. This card is very fiery, very Leo-like, very filled with lust and inspiration and the verve for life and strength. The Leo often represents strength. It can very much be tied to creativity, to your heart center when it's operating properly. And of course, the biggest goal for all Leos is to find and tap into their own heart center so they can bring forth the best of who they are, right? And in the absence of that, sometimes people will do other things, right? Go after what other people are doing. But really, the true goal is to find the zest and beauty in your own life so that you can hold your own chalice of fire and be the best version of yourself. Now, this also has to do with kind of lusty, feelings. You can sort of tell that the beast is being unleashed here. And of course, the card is actually called lust in this case, but it's a lust for life as well as other things. The Five of Swords. Okay, the five is conflict, right? You can tell everybody's just at each other. They're all trying to pierce the heart of the matter, and everybody's coming from a different direction. All of the information pouring in is one thing says this, one thing says that. Nobody's agreeing on it, and there's just chaos everywhere. You can almost tell, it's very chaotic energy. This card also kind of reminds me of Taurus because you can see it looks like there is a little bit of a ram's or bull's head there, right? But, there's no peace in this card. The information is not peaceful. The conflict is everywhere. All right, we have the Five of Wands. And again, journeys, inspiration, passionate love life, that sort of thing. And again, five, strife, right? Difficulties, people running at cross purposes in their journey. And yet there seems to be like one person who's kind of got a higher vision here, who's kind of looking over all this conflict and doing their best to figure out what all the turmoil is about. And it's fiery, right? You got fire spitting out all over the place. And we have the Fool, and the Fool is always about going on a journey. And I spent a lot of my youth in this energy, going on different trips, backcountry trips, canoe trips, trips across the country. You can just see there's like a golden path unwinding in the universe, and this person is anxious to go. They have a knapsack filled with what they need. It's not a lot, but it's enough for the ride. I mean, sometimes I did trips across country with nothing but a jar of peanut butter and a box of soda crackers, and I had a ball. The trip is blessed. You can see there's good omens along the way. There's butterflies, there's doves, there's just very nice images. And of course, you're setting, they call it a fool's journey because you're setting out with all this hope and inspiration and joy, but you really don't know what you're going to encounter along the way. But that's a lot of life, right? You don't know what's going to happen. All you can do is take the good with the bad, and in time, hopefully, transmute or alchemize all of the BS into something better, right? That's the goal. Take the stuff that doesn't work and spin it into gold. Okay, we have a few cards from other decks, oracle decks. I love my Sacred Geometry. This one is Above the Storm. I'm beginning to fly above the storm, baby. I have been through the dark night of the soul. It had very cyclonic-like energy. You can see when people are down here, all they can do is try to figure out, how do I grab my way out of there? How do I get out of this darkness? How do I find my way into a better path? And when you do that, you end up here with the divine, right? With God looking over your back, with light, love, beauty, the wisdom and grace of God. So that's nice. Always like that. I have some animal cards too. The butterflies. This one is always about transformation because, of course, the butterfly goes in as a chrysalis, a little, fat worm, spends a long time hidden in the dark, and then eventually emerges as something truly beautiful for the world to see. And I'm working on that, right? Working on coming out. And I like this card too because, again, it reminds me of my shamanic journey where I had just an absolute whirlwind of Luna moths all around me. It was such a beautiful image. And why that came to me, I don't know. I did have one experience in a particular place where there were Luna moths all over my cabin. And they're a beautiful greenish color. But what's really cool are their plumose antenna. And again, that's like gathering wisdom from the cosmos. Evolution. Well, we all should be evolving as souls, right? We should all be trying to better ourselves, learn from our mistakes, try to become higher beings more connected to the divine, right? Figure out what we need to figure out in life. And also, it's a natural process that happens in the real world too, with plants and animals and butterflies, fish, everything. In our natural world, things are going very much awry with this process because evolution usually takes thousands of years. And with things like climate change, many species, trees, everything are being tested in a biological pressure cooker to be able to adjust to what's happening. Because of the extreme carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, and they don't have the time to adjust. So right now, one of the ways things are trying to outrun the problem is by going higher up in elevation, or farther north, or for creatures that live in the sea, they are diving more deeply into the abyss. And this is how they are trying to overcome the man-made problem that we have created that threatens us all. All right, folks, that's it for today. God bless everyone. Thank you to Real Police, Real FBI, all of the spiritual advisors and tarot card readers, and beautiful people from afar that I don't even know who have done everything in their power to help keep me not only alive, but have been helping me to overcome and also to help bring prosperity into my life. Though in truth, for me, prosperity comes from most other things other than money. All right. That being said, God bless.